"Will you marry me?" I teased my best friend. She thought I was finally serious. The smile disappeared from Rachel's face, so suddenly that I knew something had gone terribly wrong. One careless joke, spoken on a warm Saturday afternoon in Savannah, Georgia, had reached a place in her heart I never knew existed. She didn't laugh. She didn't roll her eyes the way she always did. Instead, her eyes filled with tears she had been hiding for years, and in that unforgettable moment, I realized I might lose the one person who had quietly loved me through every season of my life. If you believe that kindness, hope, forgiveness, compassion, and second chances can change lives, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone you care about, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue sharing stories that remind the world that love often begins with simple acts of kindness. My name is Nathan, and for nearly 12 years Rachel had been my closest friend. We met during our freshman year at a small community college before both transferring to different universities. Somehow, distance never mattered. We celebrated birthdays together, helped each other move apartments, survived job losses, family illnesses, and countless disappointments. Everyone around us assumed we would eventually become a couple. We laughed every time someone suggested it because friendship felt safer than risking everything for romance. At least that's what I believed. Rachel had an extraordinary gift for making ordinary days feel meaningful. When my father suffered a stroke, she drove 3 hours every weekend to help my mother prepare meals without asking for anything in return. When I lost my job during an economic downturn, she quietly slipped grocery gift cards into my mailbox with handwritten notes, reminding me not to give up. I thanked her as a friend, never realizing those quiet sacrifices carried feelings much deeper than friendship. Years passed, and life kept us busy. I dated other women without finding lasting happiness. Rachel remained single, always saying she simply hadn't met the right person. I accepted that answer without thinking twice. One sunny afternoon, we were walking through Forsyth Park, sharing ice cream like we had done dozens of times before. A newly engaged couple nearby posed for photographs beside the fountain. Trying to be funny, I nudged Rachel with my shoulder and casually said that maybe I should just marry my best friend instead. Then I looked at her, grinned, and added the teasing question that changed everything. For several long seconds, she simply stared at me. Then, her voice trembled as she admitted she thought I had finally meant it. The world seemed to stop around us. She wasn't embarrassed because of my joke. She was heartbroken because she had spent years convincing herself never to expect those words from me. She confessed that she had loved me quietly for nearly 7 years, but valued our friendship too much to risk losing it. She had celebrated every relationship I entered, while privately grieving the future she secretly imagined. She never wanted to pressure me or make me feel responsible for her feelings, so she chose silence instead. The guilt settled heavily on my heart, not because I didn't love Rachel, but because I had never allowed myself to ask why every meaningful memory in my life included her. I searched for happiness everywhere, while overlooking the person who had stood faithfully beside me all along. The weeks that followed were uncomfortable and uncertain. Rachel needed space to heal from the misunderstanding, and I respected her decision. Without our daily phone calls and weekend coffee meetings, my life suddenly felt strangely empty. Every victory felt incomplete because she wasn't the first person I wanted to tell. Every difficult day reminded me that the voice I missed most was hers. One evening, my mother quietly handed me an old photo album. Inside were years of pictures Rachel had taken with our family during holidays, birthdays, volunteer events, and ordinary Sunday dinners. My mother smiled gently and told me something I would never forget. She said, "The greatest loves often arrive so quietly that we mistake them for comfort until they're gone." Those words stayed with me for weeks. Instead of making another impulsive joke, I decided to earn back Rachel's trust with honesty. I apologized for hurting her without realizing it. I thanked her for every unseen sacrifice she had made through the years. Most importantly, I admitted that somewhere along the way, friendship had quietly become the deepest love I had ever known. I wasn't asking for an immediate answer. I simply wanted her to know the truth this time. Trust wasn't rebuilt overnight. We spent months learning to communicate openly, instead of hiding behind humor. We talked about fears, expectations, family dreams, and the future we had both been too afraid to imagine. Slowly, laughter returned. But now it carried a deeper understanding neither of us had before. Almost a year after that painful afternoon, I invited Rachel back to the same park where everything had changed. This time there were no jokes, no audience, and no clever lines. Only honesty. I told her that love wasn't something that had suddenly appeared. It had been growing quietly through years of loyalty, forgiveness, and unwavering friendship. Then I knelt beside the same fountain, where my careless words had once broken her heart, and asked her to marry me with complete sincerity. She smiled through tears before whispering yes. Before we reach the end of this story, we'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment and tell us whether you believe the strongest marriages begin with friendship, or whether you've experienced a second chance that changed your life forever. Their wedding wasn't extravagant. Friends, family, and simple promises filled a small church outside Savannah with more joy than expensive decorations ever could. Looking around the room, I realized the greatest blessing wasn't finding the perfect person. It was finally recognizing the faithful heart that had been beside me all along. If this story touched your heart, encouraged your faith in second chances, or reminded you to appreciate someone who has quietly stood by your side, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe for more heartfelt stories. Sometimes, the greatest love isn't the one that arrives dramatically. Sometimes, it's the one that patiently waits until we're finally ready to see it.